Raising Cane's, we believe in one love, quality chicken finger meals. But creating one love is no simple task. Everything has to be served hot and fresh. Not just hot. We use only 100% premium chicken tenderloins, guaranteeing a 0% chance of leftovers. We insist on the best ingredients for our fries, like potatoes. Well, we can keep talking quality, or you can just eat it. Raising Cane's, one love.
So here we are, it's May the 13th, 2022, 6 days, almost a week after general election for a number of communities within Ellis County, but certainly for the city of Waxahachie, namely for city council and for the school district school board. So, and I want to just share with you in just a few minutes the result of that. I assume most of you know, but I want to mention to you one of the most disconcerting things to me, and that is our voter turnout. There are 127,400 registered voters in the county. The turnout for this past election on Saturday was just under 14,000 people, which is just under 11%. So we have 11% of Ellis County, which equates to about the same percentage when you get to the various cities within the county. We have 11% of a population that's determining very important positions on, again, in this case, city council and school board. So I say to you, as I've been writing about in the Sun, that we've got to find a way to do better with respect to the turnout for any election day. Just 11% of us should not be the only ones determining who represents us and who makes decisions that are going to impact our daily lives. The other thing about that is, as I wrote this past Wednesday, is that the countless people who spend countless amounts of time on social media, spending far more time on social media complaining about this or that with respect to the city or the school district, are people who don't take the 15 minutes to go vote. So they spend countless hours on social media complaining and harping about things, but won't take 15 minutes to go make a difference in those boards and, in this case, city council that can help mitigate or change or resolve or help solve the problems that these same folks tend to write about and complain about. So it's kind of a I don't know, collision of interesting behaviors that we really ought to spend some time thinking about how we can make better. But voting is such an important thing. It's almost sacred, and so many have given so much to make sure that we all can vote. And for us not to vote for whatever reason, it's just, in my view, it's not acceptable. So here we are. We have 11% of the population casting votes last Saturday for city council and for school board. So with respect to city council, we know that David Hill won his race soundly and will continue to serve on city council for another 2 years. We know that Melissa Olson, the incumbent for city council, was beaten by Chris Wright, someone who is involved in the city and who passionate about the city. He will now serve on city council for at least the next 2 years. And then the third position on city council that went to a vote was for a position held by Doug Barnes, current mayor and council member, one and the same. That goes to a runoff on June the 18th between Barnes and candidate Patrick Suter. So, any three-party or three-person race in a community like this, of this size, is almost always going to end in a runoff, which frankly is a bummer in the sense that it creates fatigue for both the candidates and the voter base to have to deal with another election. And, on my credenza, I have stickers from the past year and a half or so of I voted stickers, and I think there are 6 or 7 of them, which gives you a sense of how many times, at least in this case, I've been to the voting place to cast a vote. And I don't mind doing it, but runoffs just are a pain, and no one likes to have them. But we do have one, and it will determine the last seat on the city council, at least for the next year, when two people, Travis Smith and Billy Wallace, will be up for re-election. So for the most part, I'm pleased, as many people are, with the results thus far. I do want to mention that, as I wrote in my column this past Wednesday, that despite my challenges with Melissa Olson over the years, I do thank her for serving and for the passion and the effort that she's put forth. Unfortunately, she took what I wrote on Wednesday, and as is often the case between me and Miss Olson, parsed every word and interpreted it in such a way that led her to be offended by what I wrote, and there was no intent to offend her. And then she posted what offended her, how it offended her, really created an environment which she became the victim, which was never the intent on my part, but she wrote a post in such a way that she was the victim, and of course that elicits all kinds of comments and things that are about what I had to say. And I guess I've gotten to a point in life where what others think of me really is none of my business, and in this case that's true. So despite that, I do thank Melissa Olson for her time on council. I am excited about what Chris Wright will be able to do in that seat, in that place, and the knowledge base and the behaviors and the plans and ideas that I know he has. So we will be reporting certainly on the runoff results. Again, it's June the 18th, which is another month or so, 5 weeks, and that will be here before we know it, and we'll share with you early voting times, and those haven't been established yet, but there'll be about a week of early voting, and then they'll run off on June the 18th. I also want to mention that we will pick back up with Sunspot now that most of the election is over. We will pick back up with Sunspot, where David Hill will be back with us probably at least once or twice a month. We will have other folks to interview, folks that you've not met before and that have great stories to tell. I'm looking forward to that because I want to be able to share the successes and the extraordinary people in our community via Sunspot. So more to come on that. I also want to mention that the school board had its election results come in on Saturday as well. And in this case, Dusty Autry remains on the school board, and my assumption is that he'll continue to be school board president. And then the race between Debbie Timmerman, the incumbent, and Ryan Pitts resulted in Debbie Timmerman winning. So Debbie Timmerman continues to sit on the school board for another term. So the school board really is all about continuity at this point, and with all of what's going on with respect to bonds and things like that across the county and in the state, there's a lot of work to be done by the school board as we look forward to what will be a high growth, exponential growth for the student base from 10,000 students to 17,000 students in 8 years is what the projection is. So obviously the way we're set up now and what we have in place with respect to facilities isn't going to cut it. So there's a plan being developed. A lot of people are working on it. I'm included, and I'm looking forward to that. We'll have more to say as that takes on more dimensions. I will say that there is also this group out there that continues to take great pride in shooting down and voting against and campaigning against any bond anywhere. Yet they don't have any answer about how these cities like Red Oak and Waxahachie and others are to accommodate the growth that we're experiencing. So, I don't mind anybody saying no, but if they don't have a plan to support their no, then it's just like nails on a chalkboard, just always saying no. So a lot more to come on the school board. I think that's it that I want to share with you today. I do feel good about this council. I do feel good about this school board. Excited to hear and see what happens on June the 18th. I believe that may be the most interesting race of all. So we'll have to be patient and see what happens. I know both Doug Barnes and Patrick Suda will be campaigning hard. They're starting that soon, and so we'll see how that develops. So there you go. I just wanted to give you a kind of an update on what's going on. I'm excited to have more folks on Sunspot and to get back into a routine. So this is straight up today, just a brief, I guess, share of information that I have here, and we'll go back into in-depth interviews in the weeks to come. So with that, I'm Scott Brooks. It's good to have been with you. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.